Stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Punch newspaper. The major story here: petrol scarcity set to worsen as NNPCL admits $6 billion debt. Debt to petrol suppliers has caused financial strain. PMS supplier threatened. NNPCL is quoted as saying that petrol queues spread. Motorists lament as fuel marketers decry PMS shortage. And the picture story there is that of President Bolaji Tunji being received by Chinese government officials on arrival at Beijing International Airport, China. Another story here: hunger protest. The federal government arraigns activists. The British ally today. Wanted ex-beauty queen surrenders to NDLEA for drug offense. Another top corner: Dangote refinery petrol ready for rollout. We hope that will bring some relief to Nigerians. Now, power generation down by 1,400 megawatts as discos reject allocation. Nigeria has second highest rate of food insecurity. Bill Gates is quoted as saying that. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Punch newspaper. We move now to the Nigerian Tribune. Petrol scarcity may worsen nationwide. NNPCL admits owing suppliers, says financial strain on company poses threat to sustainability of supply. List NNPCL on stock exchange now. Atiku is saying alleges oil company providing cover for subsidy payment. Now, FG to invest $800 million in power sector. NACO rewards staff for returning $10,000 found inside aircraft. Minimum wage Ekiti government constitutes committee to negotiate with Labour. And a story here: how Tinubu government should tackle high food prices hardship. And those are Catholic bishops speaking on that. Some stories on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. To the Salient Times now: our ability to supply fuel constantly under threat. That's what the NNPCL is saying. Acknowledges debt to suppliers as petrol scarcity bites harder. Auto crash claims 4 lives in Osun. A sad story there. And Ogun shuts 2 Chinese firms for improper waste disposal. Some stories there on the front page of the Salient Times. And to the Platform Times: NNPCL admits financial burden amidst fuel scarcity. And Interior Minister orders investigation of alleged poor feeding at Calabar Custodial Center. Sea surges in the community urges Governor Ayedatiwa to declare state of emergency. Army troops destroy over 115 illegal refining sites, 66 boats, arrest 22 suspects. NDLEA intercepts 31 million pills, bottles of opioids worth 17.9 billion naira at Lagos Port Harcourt ports. And the minimum wage, Ekiti government inaugurates committee to negotiate with Labour. And we didn't reject polytechnic graduates in Gombe. NYSC has come out to say that. Some stories on the front page of the Platform Times. To the Daily News Hub now: $6 billion indebtedness. Petrol scarcity may worsen. NNPCL cries out, admits encountering obstacle in fuel supply. And another story here: National Assembly's jumbo allowances. Syrup drugs Akpabio Abbas to court. Air Force kills Kaduna terrorist kingpin foot soldiers. And a report is saying that paternity uncertainty remains high in Nigeria. That's quite worrisome. Those are some stories on the front page of the Daily News Hub. To the Nigerian News Direct, still talking about fuel scarcity to linger as NNPC Limited owns up to debt owed suppliers. The riders there as Nigerians criticize federal government. Independent marketers sell at 950 naira per litre. NNPC lacks funds needed to rebuild nation's aging pipelines. The minister has come out to say that. And another story here. All right, that's the major story here on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. To the Daily Times now. Article to federal government. Implement provisions of PIA, list NNPCL on stock exchange. Says anything short of listing NNPCL on the stock exchange, nothing but cosmetic development. That's a major story on the front page of the Daily Times. And to the First News newspaper, still talking or looking at the NNPCL confession. Unpaid debts to petrol suppliers behind nationwide fuel queues. And another story here, Honesty rewarded. NACO celebrates cleaner for returning $10,000 found in aircraft. At the downstrip, African leaders in Beijing eye big loans, investment. All right, another story at the top corner. Go hug a transformer, Wike tells critics of role in Tinubu's government. Interesting one that you might want to read. Urgent orders military chiefs deployed to Sokoto to tackle banditry terrorism. Flood displaces over 12,500 in Zamfara, Gombe. Destroys farmlands, shops. All right, that's some of the stories. Those are some of the stories on the front page of the First News newspaper. Ibrahim.
Right, first with me here is the Daily Trust. Petrol price may rise as NNPCL admits financial strain. Why hike is inevitable? Experts. Article demands listing of oil firm on stock exchange. New Emir of Ningi, Haruna Teband. Concerns over Gbajabiamila's oversight of agencies. End bad governance. Protesters for trial in Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, Borno today. CBN mom over bulletproof SUVs for governor, deputies. Nelt Fund, Kano, Borno, Benue, Katsina, top loan applicants list. Next is this Nigeria. Federal government to invest $800 million in power sector. Minister Adelabu says generation capacity will increase to 6,000 megawatts by December. Laments 59% of industries in Nigeria are off-grid due to epileptic supply. Steer clear Rivers PDP or face the consequences. Wike warns parties governors. State Congress elects Chukwuemeka as chairman. Edo Guba, Oshiomole, Obaseki's wife in verbal exchange. Nigerians outraged over descent into gutters by gladiators. 18 years exam age limit. Federal government playing with crisis, says Sano. Policy will cause setback in education sector. Stakeholders. Under the air of the newspaper, fuel scarcity. We are facing financial challenges, NNPCL declares. Daily Independent is next. Nigerian airlines banned from flying to U.S. Experts offer solution. FAA delists Nigeria from Category 1 status countries. Hope of air peace. Other expiring indigenous carriers dashed. Cabo Verde, Rwanda, 5 other African countries retain status. Serap sues Akpabio Abbas for fixing National Assembly allowances, running costs. Federal government barring under 18 from writing WAEC, NECO can't stand. Sano. Matawale CDS service chiefs to storm Sokoto to flush out bandits in Northwest. Petrol price may increase as NNPC admits facing financial strain due to supply costs. Tinubu arrives Beijing for Africa Cooperation Summit. That's about it for the Daily Independent. Next is Leadership newspaper. Northern, Southern elders disagree over new constitution. Afenifere Ohaneze, Middle Belt want new constitution. ACF Pandev seek amendment power sharing. Petrol imports cost NNPC admits financial strain. Buratai calls for unity as command old students reunite. Federal government investigates hunger in prisons. Article demands listing of NNPCL on stock exchange. Recapitalization. 5 banks expend 23 billion naira to raise 1 trillion naira. Above the masthead, Danyaya emerges 17th emir of Ningi. Zenith Bank's gross earnings hits 2.1 trillion naira first half in first half. Next is New Telegraph. Tinubu declares war on bandits, orders military chiefs to relocate to Sokoto. Residents celebrate president's directive. New U.S. aviation law delists Nigeria from Category 1 status. Hope rises for diaspora voting rights as NAS move to pass bill ahead 2027 polls. Alleged jumbo pay, Serap drags Akpabio Abaz to court. That's about it for the New Telegraph newspaper. Okay, electricity, federal government to spend $800 million for substations distribution. Next is The Nation newspaper. Joint CBN, SEC, NDIC team to verify banks' new capital base. You see that on page 4. $6 billion debts may affect petrol supply, says NNPCL. Discos turned down 1,400 megawatts wheeled by Gencos. Zenith Bank grosses 2.1 trillion naira in first half. That's The Nation newspaper. Next is Blueprint newspaper. Terrorism in Northwest. Federal government's order to CDS. Others excites Sokoto, Katsina residents. Arewa youth back move. NAF kills Kingpin Mustafa Abdullahi. 5 others in Kaduna. ACF calls for Nigeria. Niger Republic renewed ties. Traders to federal government tackle fuel, electricity tariff to crash food prices. Blame cost of transportation, logistics for price hike. Also, stop breast ovarian cancers with breastfeeding. NAFDAC charges mothers. You see that on the bottom strip. And then we also have NGF boss host Africa's first ever indoor golf championship in Abuja. Idris to represent Tinubu at Indonesia Africa Forum in Bali. Next is the Abuja Inquirer. Insecurity. Abuja tops ransom demand. That's according to a report. And then Abuja tops, demand removal of DPO. Others. Buhari residents recount horror ordeals. Zenith Bank records triple-digit growth in gross earnings, announces audited results for half-year 2024. That's about it for the Abuja Inquirer. Next is national economy. Unstable customs FX rates. Smuggling rises by 203% in 6 months. Shippers rue CBN's involvement. Nigeria's foreign capital inflows dropped by 57.22% to $770 million. SEC grants 2 cryptocurrency firms approval to operate. And on the bottom strip, optimizing downstream value chain and challenges with technology adoption. You see that on page 19. Nature News is next. Lagos government arrests 40 people for open defecation, urination. Severe drought. UN votes $3 million to support relief efforts in Namibia. 84% of country's food reserves depleted. Federal government delivers wash facilities to 92 federal unity colleges. And then Ghana, US partner on small modular reactor to boost clean energy. Dozens dead, thousands homeless as flood ravaged northern Sudan. And fact check, is the video of Hawaiian flood and hurricane real? You may find that out on page 19. Last but not least is the Nation Sport Alive. Iguavoin spotted in Belgium. Cuts short refresher course. NFF orders him back to Nigeria. Expected today to begin preparation for Benin-Rwanda games. Conte, I won't reintegrate Osimhen. Napoli stand firm. Saudi Arabia window closes today. Frank, why Brentford released Onyeka to Augsburg. Adebayo, I want to make a name in the MPFL. Mariska, why Chelsea abandoned Osimhen deal. And then Salah confirms he's leaving Liverpool. Minutes after Man United victory. Then we also have Müller scores 150th goal in 710th game. Kane hits target 2. Forest offered 60,000 a week £60,000 a week. Almiron on deadline day. That's about it for the newspapers.